data sensitiveness, all of that, they can go through it. So I'm sharing my screen, and then we can go through it. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So in this session, we will go through the best practices in terms of Adobe Experience Manager development tools, basically as part of developing administrative as well as using the effectively possible tips we can go through. Okay. So what is the definition of done? So definition of done is since it goes to production along with Java implementation where no bugs are created, or all of that, that is called definition of done. And we have continuous integration and tools in AEM as cloud service. We have cloud manager, which is the cloud pipeline, takes care of cloud integration. But in other environments like Jenkins or Bamboo kind of CI/CD pipeline, we need to make sure manual work like configuration update for each job deployment or any commands which we need to give while running the job configurations, we need to make sure it is as minimum as possible. So it should not be any manual intervention for as part of every deployment. It should not be. It should be basically direct use case of including in the manual work. Okay. And basically what it will do, it will make it more stable, the environment and implementation, all of that. So so we have implementation of uh, CI/CD pipeline, and that can do. So also we need to make sure the build time should not be like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, because in rapid development environment in latest AEM as a cloud service where we have environment rapid development environment, the build time and all is abstracted. It is easy. That is already there. But in case of lower versions, we should not have all the steps taking a lot of time for the build and deployment, which will affect the overall quality as well as overall productivity of the team as well. So we need to make sure the test coverage and continuous integration infrastructure should make the team more productive in terms of having a proper pipeline management, either scheduled pipeline management or if it is ad hoc also, making sure it is actually having corresponding build times lesser. Okay. And as part of code analysis, we have tools like Sonar and other tools, which is actually code analysis tool, which we will be integrating as part of the code while running the programs in the AEM corresponding environments. We can have corresponding plugins rules which can be imported, and while writing the program itself, they'll suggest for having improvement on the analysis plugins. So test driven development. So most of the times which I have seen is people writing the test cases after the code is written. But best approach is test driven development where we will actually create test cases first, and accordingly we will start writing the actual programming core packages. So that will improve the foolproofness of the project or the code. So if wherever it is possible, we need to write the test driven development as much as possible. Okay. And we can actually configure the default UI for the AEM. For touch enabled default UI sites, for classic we can have welcome.html. And where can we configure? In the system console bundles, day CQ route mapping, the target path is there. Okay, suppose someone come and ask us, instead of going to sites.html, after I log in, I wants to go to assets.html. Where can we log in? Where can we configure? We can configure in the CQ route mapping configuration, where we can mention that. Okay. And we have two types of servlets, right? One is path based, and the one is resource type based. And as and when it is possible, we will be using only resource type servlets. Why? Because resource type servlets, the actual path of the resource type is the component path, which is under apps, and which is not actually directly accessible on the publish environment. So injection of any kind of malicious content or code to through servlet to AM will not be possible. Okay. And in case of path based servlet, we need to allow the path on the dispatcher. Also, we need to allow the path on the JCR resource resolver on the AEM side, bin paths. So that kind of open up a valve for pushing anything onto AEM, and we need to filter that wall all the time. So rather, if it is possible, better use resource type servlets. Any questions on this? Okay. And while writing the naming convention of node creations and component creations, the best naming conventions is lowercase and word separation done using hyphens. Okay. And property names is camel case starting with a lowercase. Okay. Just because if we follow the same naming convention across the project, it is easy for everyone to understand, since everyone is on the same page related to the convention or the details. They can easily identify and follow the same standards, and it will improve everyone's productivity, and also understanding of the code will become easier. Okay. And whenever we are using the OOTB components, we need to use the core OOTB components. We should not use foundation OOTB components, because they are going to be get deprecated. And core OOTB components, every time core packages gets upgraded, because more and more features will be added. And as part of the pom.xml, the more and more corresponding packages will be installed. Okay. And where we can actually have to make sure the path which we are using for extending those core components is proper. Okay. చెప్సాయి చెప్సాయి
సార్ అది పిల్లలు ఏమైనా అయిపించానా సార్ గాడిలో
తర్వాత ఇప్పిద్దాం, వాళ్ళు అక్కడ వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా.
సరే సరే అదే ఒకసారి
రిటర్న్ లో ఇప్పిద్దాం.
సరే సార్.
So we need to make sure always we use OOTB components path as core components path under apps. Okay. Foundation is actually going to be deprecated. We will not be doing those references as much as possible. Okay. And in terms of reusability, for every small change in the component, or for every small change in the structure, we should not be creating templates types. Okay. We can only create template type basically when we are seeing the whole structure or initial sections are going to be different, and the number of components that are going to be affected are at least minimum more than 5 or 6. There is no number, but I'm just conveying in terms of complexity. If it is more than that, then we can go for a template that will actually suffice the purpose of creating a new template than using the existing template, using other policies, variations, other uh, options. So in the cases where it is having more number of variations, only we will create templates. And components, we have multiple options like style sheets, using css keys and css values, and using policies, using client libraries to define the themes of the components, to make sure the themes are actually available for component variation, instead of creating a new component for a small change in the theme like image left, text right. For those changes, we should not create components again. We have to use the theming or policies option from the templates, which will help to have variations of the components which are authorable for the authors, which are available, that will help to reuse the components instead of increasing the load on am by creating a new component. Okay. So, data migration scripts we need to have as a separate module whenever we want. Like, suppose we have a scheduler which is actually migrating XMLs from old system to new system as a HTML that will run every day. So, those scripts we better have it in a separate package, and also, if it possible, run it in a separate thread. But in AEM as cloud service, any of that will be part of different microservice based implementation, which we'll be writing for schedulers or workflows, because the interfaces which we'll be using itself are different. And then that is how we can actually use separate modules for data migrations. Okay. And basically, some basic rules are like the number of templates we should need to keep as minimum as possible. Okay. And we need to improve the flexibility of custom components as much more as possible by providing configurations. Okay. As much as possible, use am paragraph system to provide the content policies and all. Okay. And in case of session, we should always use the user session rather than admin session. Okay, that is already deprecated. Login administrative, all of that is deprecated. We can get session by using request.get resources all over dot session. That will give us anonymous user session. Okay, that will not have access. But if you want to have separate repository service user session, we will use user mapper service in the system console bundles. We will add a bundle id, service user, service id, and from that we can actually fetch the resources over util dot get read service, get the service user, and from that we can get the session, and that will have access to session, by the way, which we have created the system user in crx explorer. Okay. And as we discussed previously, we need to create the custom error pages by ourselves. And we can do it by using overlay. And out of the box, Libs servlet error handler is there. We just need to create same path under app and create JSPs for each error code. And correspondingly, we can write the custom message. Okay. So like 400 error, 500 error, and all. Okay. And creating logs. And we know that in system console bundles log support, we can add a custom log level, log file, and log path, and that will be logging into corresponding location. And the location is system console sling log. Okay. This will help to get the access log, and then we can fetch the data. And for dispatcher, we have conf.d, and where we're mentioning independent forms, right? So the better way is if you can have a global one and we can have independent one. Global one will be included in all the files, and independent one will be in the corresponding files. Okay, that we can do as part of log levels in the dispatcher. You know that minification in HTML library manager, in if you run it in production mode, by default it will be enabled and it will minify. and we have multiple processors which will do the minification. YUI is the by default engine which will do the minification. If you want to replace YUI with GCC, we can do that in the HTML library manager. In the processor, we can actually mention the uh, corresponding GCC Granite processor in the system console. Is clear? And
Yep.
yeah, please go ahead. So, someone is asking a question. Any questions? So, as we know, for all the sessions, resource resolvers, we need to always close them before we move to the next line of code. And the best way which Java 1.8 provides is try with resources, which will auto close the resources which are part of the try catch blocks. And if we use them, now which we do finally block, we will use to close the session or resource resolver and all, right? If you use try with resources, that will be helping us to really open connections and then improve the performance. Okay. So JCR queries, when to use, when to not to use. Okay, if there is no indexing, it's not good to use JCR queries. And make sure if there is always index, then only use JCR queries. And for using custom full text searches and all, it is not suggested to use JCR queries. Full text search and all, we need to use XPath queries, and also full text search we need indexing done, because full text search will do in assets metadata, content metadata, and then tagging. It will do multi-parallel search, so that is a very iterative, recursive, and rigorous search. That's why. Okay. And there is certain console URLs which are very helpful, like VM stat, servlet resolver, status product info, sling settings. I will share it here because normally these are actually used. Suppose a servlet is not getting satisfied, what is the reason? And servlet sling settings, what is the state? So those things will be helpful as part of this change. Okay. Anything anyone wants to ask, guys?
Menu for whatever like build or deployment issues that we usually get, right? So is that like Adobe maintains some regular FAQs or some portal kind of thing,
Yeah.
where
For Cloud Manager, they do provide, and it is not actually what do you say, portal, but there is a no error. This thing is there.
so
Known error
okay,
FAQs.
so as like an non Adobe person also can add such errors issues there, or like
With Adobe ID only.
okay.
And I don't think they will publish without review. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it is not like we can just publish like that. Even if we submit it, has to go through a review process, which they will be accepting or anything before it gets available on the FAQs.
Yeah, because the usual challenge is like the packages keep on changing, right? Like every release on cloud, right?
Right.
and there might be some corresponding error, some situation might happen which earlier was not seen, like earlier service packs. So such things, they I mean, if they're maintaining at one place, or if suppose externally we are getting some errors, we can put there. I mean, that will be helpful, like one
Yeah,
stop shop.
yeah. There is a known error place, but for inconsistencies, they have a clear mechanism to identify from where the inconsistencies is occurring. One is restoring it to the previous pipeline, previous
Right.
deployment, and then checking it, and then getting to the new pipeline with same code and with new code. If it is same code, new pipeline is having issues, we can throw the ball at Adobe side. And if it is new code, same pipeline but having issues, then we have to debug more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So that is about some of the best practices of AEM development. Security checklist we have gone through, and security best practices we have gone through. We'll see if there is anything else from different portals as part of whatever we have covered. We have covered password multi-factor, airbag, least privilege principle, CSR, of course, patch and update. We don't regularly update patches, and this is all taken care by cloud service. Securing admin console. Yeah. So I think everything which we have discussed is almost, I would say, very elaborative and very wide topics on the security. We'll see on the workflows if there is any best practices. I don't think there is. They have put everything on the server itself. I think we are covering most latest updated security list and steps for maintaining that, all of that in 6.5 or cloud and all. Okay. This is not useful. So you guys are already on AEM as cloud service on your projects right now, or it's lower versions?
For me, it is lower version,
Okay.
6.5.
Okay. Because cloud is so much ahead if we start using it, because as you can see in my screen, experience platform is actually having so much capabilities introduced for digital infrastructure, content delivery, analysis, and experience improvement. All of that aspects is taken care. If you see, they have out of the box tools like experience platform, a target analytics, and then journey optimizer, and customer journey analytics and all. I'll just showcase one of the best things that are actually can be done, if I have showcased to you or not previously. um, So what happens is this experience platform is Adobe IO driven, Granite UI based um, APIs and data capturing elements, which are actually uh, running behind the scenes for the whole infrastructure which we are actually executing. Suppose, is my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see here, normally Adobe Experience Platform is the brain behind running a lot of activities for the website. AEM just takes care of whatever the content is provided by the marketing people, just delivering it. What experience platform will do, it has options for profiling different user paths, making like who came to home page, from home to cart page, and cart to um, cross selling, all of them, and coming from particular country. So we can create a profile of that users, and then from the profiles, and then we can create segments, and then from segments we can actually identify one to one user, this thing also, what you call, identification of user, and then sending the data. And it has a data lake where it can have integrations with almost every platform, Google API, or even any API, BI, business intelligence services, query services, any framework can push the data to data lake, and target analytics data also comes, and all of that data would actually gets as a profiling, and it how it is moving to like target, and how it is moving to a journey optimizer, where it will how the based on condition, how you can actually send the data to multiple levels and all. So if it is cloud, right, this is all out of the box available, and then we can actually capture all of this. I just showcase a small example, it will be very interesting actually. So I'll show you, suppose a user has come, okay, I'll show you. So there is one more platform as part of Sandbox. If you do not have access, get the access, which is demo system next. All the demo systems of our platform capabilities we have, that is implemented on, like AEM. We have we retail geometrics, all of that, right? For other platforms, we have a demo system next, which is having all the projects created. We can verify all of that. So if you see, these are different websites in different brand categories where we can actually go. Suppose let's take a website, Luma website, where we can actually um, visit the page. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is, if I'm a user coming to this website, and then I navigate to this website, okay, as a end user, okay, and there is this Adobe Experience platform, what it runs behind, it actually creates a real-time customer profile of whatever I have done on the website. How it is able to do? Because behind the scenes it has the corresponding events capturing, and then identification of events, path identification, all of that is being happening. Okay, and what it will do, so if you go to a page like Luma page, and we actually um, okay, from home page we went to men, from men page we went to the corresponding jacket, and on the left side you see that it has captured whatever we have done in the experience events, it is showing these are the experiences which we have seen, right? Like here, audiences, utilities, like that. You will have experience event also in the event section. See, uh, on 2024, I came to home page. Okay, this is my actions which are captured. So basically, while I am navigating itself, the my experiences are captured, and correspondingly, if there is a journey which is actually customized, that whoever is coming to home men jackets page, show them experience on the page itself as right side, um, offer on the jackets. That is only for those people. It will not come for other people. You understand? This is a dynamic experience delivery. What we are doing through with AEM is static experience delivery, not real time. I mean to say, not the correct word, static and dynamic. Real time. That was not real time. With AEM, with these platforms, we are giving real time. Any is this clear? What I'm trying to say?
So when you do, we need to configure anything in this DNS so that we can also see our
Yeah. We need to get a workspace.
workspace. I
Yeah.
have access to DNS. I'm able to log in.
Yeah.
Where I need to see what?
In the
Because I can't see my
in the
capabilities.
environments, you can see my screen.
Yes.
Request demo environment
Okay.
or register instance.
But I can't see anything for you also.
Yeah, this is my company which I haven't actually.
Mhm.
It is in process. Applied. They are giving it to me.
But then how you are able to see your events tracked?
I am using existing website which they have created, like we retail for
Yeah.
them.
For the same, I am not able to see my
Did you go to
my.
projects?
Hmm.
Did you go to home?
Yeah.
On the left side, you see the projects.
Yes.
So click on any project, no?
Yeah, I have opened that Luma only, Luma 3.
So that extension you need to enable. Probably you don't have this extension of experience platform extension.
I have it. I can see on left hand side. You see this? Yeah, this. I have that.
Okay, so then
I
you,
clicked on it.
yeah.
Now, what I am not seeing the new profile is events. When you click on events, you can see the
This,
these events.
huh,
These are not coming for me.
so probably that the if you go through certain paths and then come back, you will see.
Oh yeah, right. So that means it has created my identity.
Yeah, anonymously.
Yeah.
So if we are still stuck with AEM, we are missing a lot of things. I will show in the latest Adobe Summit what exactly this guy Santanu have talked about, especially this platform. It is pretty spot on what it is going to be, and I think they have already understood the capability of these platforms in delivering next this thing. On the Adobe partner page, if you go to the post, the recent summit post, I think I have commented it actually. If you open it, Sorry, my system is pretty slow. I don't know. Go to comments. So just listen to this post. I'm not sure whether it will be audible or not. Is it audible? Just tell me. Is it audible?
No.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying this is available in YouTube also.
No, this is
You
public
can,
community only. I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is confidential information. So what I'm trying to say is, here he is clearly mentioning. So just this thing. What he's trying to talk about is in previously we used to deliver content to whole segments, meaning whole Bangalore Whitefield area people who are actually awake at 4 a.m., who are actually browsing Adobe projects products. We will be actually targeting this particular advertisement. But with experience platform, what kind of which we can target is not for the entire segment. We can send for the individual person. How we can send? Because his navigation, his thing is entirely captured, which is actually making it more unique for that person. And also from the segment for that person, we can actually through AI generate natural context for him. And from the natural context we can write this thing, what you called condition in the journey optimizer, which will inform what could be the next natural instinctive based kind of navigation for him, which he will feel, see, now I am getting get 15% discount on first purchase, some kind of ads, right? So that kind of delivery we can do. So we should move to AIM as cloud service as early as possible, and then integrate all these platforms, and then see for a brand how much more we are doing. So now AI is already in the market, and that AI in content delivery is not captured by other parallels as much as Adobe have captured. It has Sensei and ML and AI programs which are actually continuously creating contexts, and with generative AI integration they can even use that contexts, and then as part of this platform journeys, they can be providing better journeys for the different segments, different users, and they'll be real time seeing those journeys as part of their profile navigation. Is this making sense? Anything which I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So I sincerely request you guys to come out of that age of just knowing AEM, because that is going to be redundant. And next 5-10 years is going to be now AEM works as a Java. Now you need to learn web application development, which is like using the platforms to garner the better of AEM for multiple different experiences. Yeah. So that is about the advantages, best practices, and then which I want to talk about cloud. Then we can actually connect back, and then there is one last topic which these are all actually we have covered, data protection strategies and all. Yeah, anything we would like to discuss, guys, which we can do in the next session? Anyone? Okay, once we come back, we can actually take care of a few other aspects as part of architectural certification. I'll try to get few questions and then we'll discuss at least. Okay, we'll take a 10 minutes break and then we'll come back, guys. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
thanks.